And good morning, I'm Rick Fulbaum. Thanks so much for joining us here on ANF Plus. On this Friday, we have made it to the end of another work week. Hopefully you've got some nice weekend plans in store. We're going to get a check on the forecast coming up in just a little bit, but let me get you caught up on some of the headlines first of all. And there are some people who live in a very upscale community and neighborhood here in Atlanta, in the Midtown area, right near the High Museum, who are very, very concerned this morning after a shooting took place in their normally quiet neighborhood. Joshua Skinner, a reporter here at ANF, went out to cover this story, and he filed this report.
Yeah, this is a quiet area of Midtown. What one resident described to us as, it's 17th Street, it's luxury, but it wasn't luxurious last night. Police received a call around 9 o'clock of a shooting here between 16th Street and 17th Street. Upon arrival, they found a man with a gunshot wound to the arm. That victim was taken to the hospital, expected to be okay. People nearby say they heard 4 or 5 gunshots and then saw a black car fleeing the scene at a high rate of speed. It's making the residents in these parts reconsider what exactly it means to live in luxury.
Obviously, this is a bit worrying. I mean, I've been living here for a bit more than 6 months, and this is the first time I come across such a situation. And obviously, I'm coming from overseas, so it's a bit worrying that we have this type of events in Midtown Atlanta.
And no arrests have been made at this time, but the shooting is under investigation. Reporting in Midtown, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
All right, Joshua, thanks for that. We're also covering stories regarding the health of President Trump, the White House releasing some information about the president, and that is making news today on this Friday. We're talking about the problem that President Trump is having with his legs. The White House says that he's been diagnosed with a condition that can cause swelling in the legs. There's a clinical term for this condition. It's called chronic venous insufficiency. And doctors say it pops up when valves inside certain veins in the body do not work properly. Apparently, veins in the legs are particularly susceptible because blood from the legs has to travel back up to the heart and go against the laws of gravity in order to do so. So this can happen with older people. Treatment involves medication. There are medical procedures that also sometimes are used. And sometimes it's as simple as having the person dealing with this wear a pair of compression socks, which you may be familiar with. And so there are a bunch of different potential treatments for President Trump. The president's physician said that it is common in people over the age of 70, and President Trump, of course, had a birthday last month, turning 79. And so this is a story we'll keep an eye on for you. We're told that otherwise the president is in excellent health. So you're seeing some marks on his hands that people have noticed in some videos where it looks like makeup has been applied to cover up perhaps some bruising, and the president's medical team saying that those bruises are the result of a lot of handshakes that President Trump makes, of course, as the president. Okay, new this morning, Cobb County schools moving away from recording their meetings. The school board voted last night to change this policy. It will end the broadcast of the public comments portion of the school board meetings. This is where people get up, have the opportunity to ask some questions or make some statements to the school board. Board members say that this change does not mean the community will not be heard, will not have a chance to voice their opinion, but that they'll have to come in person to hear and to make comments. And so that is a change that's taking place for the Cobb County School Board. Let's talk about the movies. It's something a lot of people do on the weekend. And maybe you've got some plans to see some of the blockbusters that are in theaters right now. I took my boys to see the new Jurassic Park movie last weekend. We all liked it. But with fewer people going to the movies, theaters are actually adding commercials before the movies start. Even if theaters tell people that the movie is not going to start right at its listed time, the spots still benefit advertisers, especially if they are close to the actual start of the movie. We're told that traditional movie theaters are struggling right now. IMAX theaters, though, are still doing well. Other ways that theaters are trying to draw in the crowds include expanded food options, discounts for midweek tickets, and collectible popcorn buckets, which my boys tried to get me to buy the other day. I said, nope. not going to happen. And finally, this morning for news, we're going to get a check on the weather in a minute, but after more than 3 decades together, the Wu-Tang Clan is wrapping up its farewell tour. The group's surviving members hitting the stage at Madison Square Garden this week ahead of their final show tonight in Philly. And the band's co-founder, Raekwon, is out with his 8th studio album, The Emperor's New Clothes, which features some of his bandmates, Wu-Tang Clan, making great music for many, many years, and we certainly wish them the best in their retirement. All right, promised you a check of the weather now. We're going to get a check on that with our First Alert meteorologist, Courtney Jacobazzi.
Thank you so much, Rick. I'm with you on not buying the kids the bucket. You know what I mean? That thing probably would cost you $35. We
Just
talked
for the
about this the
popcorn.
other day, too, though. It's a shame that the regular movie theaters aren't doing as well because I like the basics, like the popcorn, the soda, the candy. And like in the IMAX theaters, as much as it's great to like order a nice meal or a glass of wine while you're watching a movie, like the servers are walking in front of you the whole time, you know?
Yes.
So, I don't know.
If
I'm
I
an
want
OG
somebody
movie
to-
theater gal.
If I want somebody to walk in front of me while I'm watching a movie, I'll watch it at home.
That's right. Watch it at home. Yes, absolutely. In my house, it's always the dog's tail that seems to get in the way in front of the TV. All right, let's get you a check of the weather, everybody. We'll get you updated because we do have a new First Alert weather day for Monday because of the heat that is going to come back in a big way. You're probably saying, Courtney, it's already hot outside. What are you talking about? Yeah, well, it's about to get hotter out there, and we're going to get you caught up on everything you need to know. Mostly cloudy skies over Midtown skyline late morning. We'll hold on to those through the day. That's nature's shade, everyone. We like the clouds, but it's still going to be plenty hot. It's summertime. High temperatures today climbing into the low 90s. A few of us topping out in the upper 80s up in the mountains, but for the most part, a very typical summer-like day today. The humidity will definitely be present. You will notice it, but it's not going to necessarily be oppressive today. We might even have a nice light breeze to kind of mix things around a little bit later this afternoon. However, it is still going to feel like triple digits. We won't be at dangerous heat levels today. It'll feel more like the low 90s at noon, and then it'll feel anywhere between about 100 to 103 within the city limits today. I think if you live east of the city, it'll feel even hotter for you down there, but not heat advisory criteria expected today, which is heat index values of 105 or hotter. Even at 9 o'clock tonight, if you're doing anything for your Friday evening, still going to feel closer to 90 degrees at 9 p.m. So make sure you're drinking lots of water today and tonight. I know some of you like to enjoy things other than water on a Friday evening, so make sure you are supplementing that with water because it is going to be hot and humid out there. Let's talk about the rain chance because we have just updated your forecast. First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris and I were kind of diagnosing what's going to go on. And it does look like we do have a slightly higher coverage of rain expected a little later today. And that just naturally comes with having enough moisture in the air to work with. Very summer-like pattern where you have the humidity in place, you have the moisture in place, and as things heat up, all that bubbles up and creates scattered showers and storms. I don't think these are going to be super slow-moving storms because we still have this southerly flow kind of scooting things along from that low that was along the Gulf Coast the other day. So we're not going to have these stale, slow-moving showers, but your plans could be briefly interrupted by rain later tonight. So let's take you hour by hour through the day. Already seeing a few showers back out in Alabama right now. Those could move into far west Georgia between now and lunchtime, so quick passing shower possible there for the early afternoon. But for your evening commute, we will have the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms. Doesn't necessarily look like they're going to develop across metro within the city limits, but in our suburbs, definitely possible. Any storms that do develop today will carry moderate to heavy rainfall because we just have so much moisture in the air and could carry maybe some gusty wind and frequent lightning. We're not expecting severe weather today, though. Going into your 8 o'clock hour, so if you're headed to the Braves game tonight, if you are going to go grab dinner, maybe go grab some drinks with your friends tonight. I know we always have lots going on across North Georgia. We will have the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms. There is the possibility that maybe we get a brief rain delay at Truist Park tonight, but regardless of the rain coverage, it's definitely not going to be a washout. You may be interrupted for like half an hour to an hour by the rain, and then you'll be good to go for the rest of the night. Tomorrow does look drier, though. Our rain coverage tomorrow, spotty at best, about a 20% chance for rain. We'll see more sunshine tomorrow. We're going to have this ridge really build over our forecast, and we've talked about these ridges before. They kind of serve as force fields. They shut off the water, and they build the heat. So this ridge is going to grow really strong tomorrow for your Saturday, so it'll be hotter tomorrow and drier for your Saturday. But that drier feel is not going to stick around all that much longer. That low that is currently moving inland near Louisiana is going to continue to pump in Gulf moisture across the southeast going into Sunday and Monday. See that blue color there? That is extremely high humidity. We are going to have a lot of water in the atmosphere. It is going to be very uncomfortable going into Sunday and Monday. Sunday, we may be flirting with heat advisory criteria, but Monday, it is looking more highly likely that we do see or experience rather heat advisory criteria with feels like temperatures anywhere between 105 to maybe 110 in some of our southern counties. Now, this is just what one model is saying about it, but it is definitely not out of the question that we experience feels like temperatures like this. More than likely going to have a heat advisory from Atlanta off to the east on Monday. So we went ahead and gave you a first alert for that, just to give you a heads up that the dangerous heat will definitely be present on Monday. So here's looking at your first alert 7-day forecast. Tonight, scattered showers and storms will be possible, mainly after 5 o'clock through about 9 p.m. is when we'll see the highest coverage of rain, but we can't rule out an isolated shower or storm between now and 3 o'clock. At temperatures in the low 90s today, it will naturally feel hotter. But if you do have any Friday night plans, again, it's not going to be a washout, but you may briefly be interrupted by rain and storms. Saturday, that ridge builds really takes hold. That leaves us drier but hotter. We're talking highs in the mid-90s. Now, you'll notice those Braves on gray icons on the 7-day forecast. If you're not going to the game tonight or tomorrow, if you'd rather stay at home for that, you can watch it tonight on Peachtree TV, tomorrow on Atlanta News First. So you have options to watch the Braves game if you don't want to physically make your way to Truist Park. Sunday, we'll have the chance for a few spotty afternoon thunderstorms, very summer-like day on Sunday. Monday, that first alert weather day, not for the rain, so you can see the rain chances stayed low, but for the heat, some of you could definitely feel upwards of 105 to maybe 110, especially east of the city on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, rain chances stay minimal, highs stay in the 90s, very rinse and repeat forecast, very summer-like forecast, hot, humid with those spotty afternoon storms looking possible all the way into the middle and end of next week. A very uneventful forecast, but again, we will be watching Monday very carefully as we could have some dangerous heat back in the forecast to kick off next week. All right, everyone, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Friday night. Have the First Alert Weather app handy because that will let you know if storms are in your area as you're out and about enjoying your Friday night plans. So great tool to have going into Friday night. And stay safe this weekend, stay cool, make sure you're staying plenty hydrated, and we'll catch you here next time.
30 a.m. on ANF Plus. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.